What would you say to God should you have the chance to speak with them? I'm recording, aren't I? Yes, I am. Nah, too easy. God used to speak to us through burning bushes and lazy visions and hazy visions, but not anymore. They have upgraded their equipment and made contact through shortwave radio. Could be funny, but I don't know. Maybe a biblical quote, but which one? Maybe this God is not even the father of Jesus to begin with. Or maybe I just flew for 5 hours and drove for 3 more into the Galician countryside just to meet a senile man who speak too much time listening to the static. Yeah, that's probably gonna be it. Interview with a Whisperer. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, De Los Chevalier, and you're welcome to Interview with a Whisperer. Manuel, this is the journalist who came to see you about your machine. Pay attention and be kind to them. I'm not hungry, Remedios. Excuse me, him. As you can see, Don Manuel has trouble focusing on following conversations. But if you're persistent enough, you will see this man is full of wisdom. That is alright, Doña Remedios. Thank you very much for your hospitality. I will handle it from here. Very well. I will leave you to it. I will be tending the cows if you need me for anything. Thank you so much. You better behave, you hear me, Manuel? Why do you tell this person to behave instead, huh? Last one that came by was a joke of a journalist. Good grief! It's alright, Doña Remedios. I'll be tactful. I will come back at noon. Thank you. Give me a minute to review my notes and set up my recorder and we will begin, Don Manuel. I have never gone hunting in my life, even if my father was a fine hunter or so they say. That's nice. Okay, Doña Remedios wasn't exaggerated. This man can be a trickiest interview I have ever attempted. I will try to get as much interesting information as I can and call it a day when I find out enough to compose an article. After how much it took to get here, I'm not leaving empty-handed. Let's question Manuel. Are you under medication? I'm not really an academic person. The only thing I know how to program are watches and videos. My experiments reside in the logic, and even with that I'm self-taught. I learned my breaking and fixing stuff. But in a sense I see myself as an artist or a wizard who plays with a spellbook but doesn't really get the science behind it. Sorry to disappoint. Can I use the machine? I don't know. I still don't trust you, no offense. Let me talk for a bit more. Ask me again later and I might reconsider. So... what did God say to you? It's not like God had to tell something to me specifically. I'm the one who contacted them, after all. We had conversation about the cosmos and humanity. God is very impressed with how we have evolved and what we have accomplished with science and technology. We totally broke their expectations. God is also really amused with all of our interpretation of godhood and what we call religion. God is sincerely surprised that humans catch onto the divine so early, on the fact that there must be been some extraneous force that put all this in motion. None of us got it quite right, though. Is Jesus over there? Death is just the decay of consciousness. There is no afterlife, just an organism breaking down. God is not as powerful as to create a whole reality beyond this one. What about heaven? There is no afterlife. Okay. Are we machines then? I didn't quite catch that. Sorry, could you repeat it for me, please? Are we machines? I have never been a religious man, but somehow we could call this divine inspiration. I mean, there is still a lot of magic we don't understand behind human purpose. What drives us to things we do? Is there a secret and explanation to it? I suck as a journalist. I have already run out of questions. And this guy has a machine that can speak to God, and I am like... Can you give me an example of the machine? Can you give me an example by operating the machine? Absolutely, pay attention. Oh, God, are you there? I have a friend with me that wants to hear from you. Do you have any advice for them? Oh, God. Get it, God? God said, society created way more things than I did. For example, good and evil. You humans designated and cataloged all actions by that subjective measure. Same for justice, love, sacrifice, or even comedy. It's fascinating. So God is not all-seeing. Omnipresent. Omnipresent. What do you mean? If you're asking about fate, I don't need it. I made contact. It do be as if someone asked me if I believe you exist. We're just having a conversation, friend. That makes us both exist, I think. In any case, before making contact, I have always considered myself agnostic. So you believe now? Now that I think about it, I think I can nail down in time when this hunger for technology started. From 1950 to 55, there was this woman, Dolores, who came to live in town. I was around my 20s, and I had a predisposition to mess with electronics already by that time. But meeting her and her weird prototypes, what sparkled the lifelong question in me. I still miss Dolores so much. Do you like Dolores? The student liquors has kept me sane for a long time. It's an art so different to messing with appliances. There is less science to it and more alchemy, more magic. You master liquor crafting through sheer experimentation. And it is so fun, even when it goes wrong. I'm not a heavy drinker though, so there is another pleasure to making liquors, when you come up with a nice batch and share it with your neighbors. A bottle of something nice can always put a smile in the townsfolk. What did Dolores did? What did Dolores make in invasion? What did Dolores did to impress you? My parents were really worried about me. They thought I developed some kind of obsession. Took them a long time to understand this is what makes my life worth living. But since I was able to make enough money visiting the neighbors and fixing the radios and TVs, in the end of they stopped caring. Their only regret is to have died without descendancy, I guess. But what can I say? I didn't come to this world to continue someone's bloodline. Aren't you Mary? Even never been a man of faith, agnostic if anything. So making contact with God at first blew out my mind. But a few weeks into, and I feel weird saying this, I expect more from God. They don't feel as omnipotent, there is the word, omnipotent, as every culture describes them. I don't know, if anything I feel compassion for them. Why? The thing that shocks me the most about God's true nature is the role they play in the creation of humankind. It clashes against every myth about the creation of our world. Earth, this planet, already existed before God visited. They only terraformed it. It's no small feat, don't get me wrong. It's just, knowing this all wasn't some grand design. God just kick-started life as we know it, but couldn't possibly predict what become of it. What do you mean about terraformed Earth? That might be the most groundbreaking discovery I got out of our conversations. God didn't create the universe, but they sure did create life on Earth. God has terraforming powers, or should we say, capabilities. They pick up a barren rock in the middle of the universe and generate an ecosystem in it, stimulating it electromagnetically. They told me the process takes about 1 million years. Then they observe the early stage of the development of species, and when satisfied, God moves on and leaves nature to run its course. Do you know this is the land where they started and finished the process? Galicia is the beautiful land in which God first breathed life into when Earth was just a supercontinent. In fact, God forbid me to speak the name of that supercontinent in front of the machine. Say it was to trigger some unpredicted developments. Huh. Pangea? What the fuck? Air control unit 7.2 entering maintenance mode. Error. Cannot access maintenance logs. Warning 74844Q. Your brain process deteriorated. Editing access. Journalist trust gauge equals true. Print journalist trust level. Current level is 32%. Ask more personal questions to increase. Please contact God entity and request a retrieval. Return to human. Handle state machine. What the hell was that? Did you pick poetry? I'm not good at writing myself, but Dolores likes poetry a lot. So, as a way to feel closer to her, I tried my hand at writing some. This one I wrote is about 2 decades ago. Fleeting feeling of numbness, bare wires against an old man's skin. Fleeting sensation of love. Rust, breath, oblivious, nil. Be or not to be. Did you have any recurring dreams? Myself have some weird ones. But more than a recurrent dream, I do say it more like a current setting. And I keep visiting in my dreams, a place that feels out of this world. But I guess you didn't come here to hear me rambling about my night trips. Please go on. Tell me about your dreams. I often dream with a facility with a view to a white rocky landscape. Dreams are never the same, but they have recurring characters. There is the doctor with a white lab coat, named Fidel Medeiros, who asks me a lot of technical questions that for some reason I'm able to answer. Although the memories of those conversations are almost fuzzy. This doctor reminds me of my father for some reason. Sometimes Dolores is around with an elegant office suit. Whenever I find her in a dream, we often end up having a glass of wine at some sort of observatory. Also, no matter how hard I try, I never manage to leave the facility. The times I try happen to sleepwalk and awake in the middle of the forest. And that can be pretty dangerous given my old age, so at that point I stopped trying. So... who is Fidel Medeiros? I think what gotcha. Could you repeat it for me? Who? Fidel Medeiros. Dr. Fidel Medeiros. I don't know if I ever saw him on TV or what, but for some reason he got stuck in my dreams. It looks like we're working together or something. A project name Second Installment. I feel he respects me, and he has a lot of questions that I am able to answer eloquently, and that fills me with pride. His face is pretty familiar to me, feels like my dad, but not exactly him. We get along really well, like he knows what I'm going through my head. Besides that, his presence is a mystery to me. What is Second Installment? The project I keep dreaming about with, Second Installment. Can't put my finger on what it's about, since I have never remembered exactly what my role is in the project. But I seem to be pretty knowledgeable about everything surrounding it, and Dr. Medeiros always comes to me to consult on many technical details. If I really force my brain, I can grasp some keywords instinctively, like parametric environment, character translocation, safe word vulnerability. All gibberish to me. Tried to look it up, actually. Found out nothing relevant. Huh. So you're an alien? Seems like a dead end, since Mr. Freddy can recall much more of this project. Okay. Let's go back to... Let's go back to... aliens? In the sense of them not being from this planet, yes, God is an alien. What kind of alien? Starting at the moon gets me nostalgic for some reason. Are you talking about you were first in the moon? What's in the moon? Ah, Dolores, wish you were here. Tell me about Dolores. Ah, Dolores, what a woman. It was with her that I realized I'm asexual. She taught me that word actually. And we are speaking deep Spanish in the 50s here. Decades went by until I heard that word used by someone else. Besides self-discovery, the greatest gift I got from her was a bunch of manuscripts that described technology that was yet to come. I don't know if she worked for the government or some top company, but she knew about personal computers way before they got here. I devoured those manuals again and again. She usually visited me here and spent whole evenings drinking and talking about the possibilities of encoding information and whatnot. Ahead of her time, that woman. She's my biggest inspiration. It was just after she mysteriously vanished from town that I started working on radios. A time traveler? I didn't quite catch that, sorry, could you repeat it? A time traveler. Doña Remedios is nice enough to keep checking on me. I'll probably be dead by now without her. Doña Remedios. Doña Remedios is a distant cousin of mine. I owe her a lot, When my parents were gone, she started making sure I was alright. She lives in a farm nearby and brings me food and puts a bit of order on this house, since these old bones don't allow me to do most of the chores. Never question my obsessions, but she does treat me a bit like a child, even if I'm more than a decade older than her. Can't complain though. If she wasn't around, I'd just starve among the pile of trash. What happened during the 50s? The 50s. Ah, Dolores, wish you were here. Drugs. Do you have them? Do you use them? Ghost brand me as a pitiful infant. Is that weird? God's opinion of you? What could have I accomplished if my parents ever sent me to the university? Can I talk to God? Alright, you look like a decent person. Let me power up the machine. Oh God, I can speak with God. Salutations, human entity. Manuel finally let someone else communicate with us. Before we start a conversation, we need to know, what do you feel about God? I feel good. Strange. I see. It's interesting to witness what your own cultures put your minds through. To think about what originated life as you know it in such a way, and speaking about existing in this time and age as a human entity. What do you enjoy the most about the human experience? The good times. All of it. All of it. The good and the bad. We grow. We become better. Interesting. We wish we could be contained into a human entity brain processor to be able to experience such things. In a way, you are privileged. As a means to improve your experiences as a human entity, we were going to offer you a gift. In just one word. Only one word. What would you like us to remove from reality? Just name it. Choose one word and we shall remove it from your world. What would you like us to remove from reality? Oh shit! I don't know! The good, the bad, cereal, stupid people, stupidity? I don't know. Conflict? No, that's what makes us, that what makes us human. Hunger? No, that makes us human too. The need to eat, the need to savor food, that all makes us human. Nothing. Everything that exists for a reason. Even if you are not God, even if you are God and you are actually an extraterrestrial being that came from another world and terraformed this planet, and God, as God doesn't exist, Or maybe it does exist. Maybe we're talking to a different god. To a different god. Maybe there is another god. Maybe there is an afterlife. Nothing. Nothing. Interesting choice. And which dad you will be happier? And with that you will be happier? What? Overriding access to EarthCom Unit 1841. Entering maintenance mode. Blocking perception of reality. Nothing. Parameter deleted for database. Resetting encounter. Reconfiguration world narrative coherence factor. Returning to a human handler state machine. What? What did just happen? Oh, don't worry about it, Mr. Fateria. I have more than enough for my article. Remember to buy some pimientos de padrón for a mirror. I'm going to not follow up this story to avoid bringing uncomfortable attention to a senile old man. Please take care. Manuel Ferreira presents an advanced state of dementia. The incredible machine he claims he's made is but a very elaborate and innovative Christian tree. Just all the planets stuck together forming an amusing display of lights. No? You're not even staying for lunch? Sorry. Gotta run if I want to make it in time to the airport. Okay. Wow. That was epic. That was awesome. I love it. That was so cool. That was so mind-blowing. So we're all robots. We're all robots and we are just the creation of these other beings. So actually for us there is no other life. Because we are just machines. That's so awesome. Okay, thank you everybody for watching. I hope you have a blast. I was Telos Chevalier, signing out. Bye bye.